Number 8 is the tablet computer. So this is something that I think is going to surprise a lot of people, as I said. So in 1968, a computer scientist named Alan Kay envisioned something he called the Dynabook. And this was a notebook-sized computer for learning, and he detailed it in a 1972 paper in which the idea included a flat display, a keyboard or a stylus, and software for education and creativity, very much like the modern tablet and computer system. We actually saw similar devices start showing up on television shows like Star Trek and Star Trek: The Next Generation, where they had devices where they were writing on them. Very famous Captain Kirk would be handed something from his yeoman. He would sign off on it and pass it back off. Obviously, that was some sort of computer system, and they had envisioned things like that, but obviously it was very far from being a reality. Alan Kay worked on this at ARPA and later at Xerox PARC. Dynabook itself was never built, but the concept influenced later projects.
And it was really a case of waiting for the technology to catch up to the vision, right? You needed really good, low energy, but high fidelity displays. You needed lithium ion battery technology, which really didn't exist until the late 90s. You needed really dense storage and good wireless connectivity to make this thing very, very, very valuable. But I would say the big breakthrough was the iPad.
Yes. So in 2010, Apple released the iPad, and that was really the first device that became mainstream that you could consider a tablet computer. There were devices before that were Windows-based that had, some were not touchscreen, but they had a stylus, and eventually some were more touchscreen, but also had a stylus. But the iPad was the first device that worked properly, and you could use your fingers on it, would be what we considered a tablet computer today. And then Microsoft went on to make some very successful devices with the Surface. And obviously, the iPad's still very popular today and has multiple forms and has gone on to be very, very successful. So we're talking a time gap here between 30 and 40 years between the time of concept and the time of actually having something very successful. So that's a pretty significant gap there. And the notable barriers, as Lou had mentioned, were really all hardware related in that, when it comes to having batteries and proper screen technology, if you think about it back in the 60s, I mean, almost all screens were tube based, and you can't have really having a tube and a portable device really make sense. And then having that touchscreen technology and all of those things together really made that possible